Wolves 1, West Ham 0. Absolutely delighted with that. Thoroughly deserved victory, I thought. I think going into the game, I think everyone was slightly nervous. The way West Ham play, pace, power, everything we don't like. Mikel Antonio, what they did to us last season, I was dreading it, to be honest. And when I was sort of walking in the ground, a couple of people were saying how nervous they were. But after the first 10 minutes, which I thought were quite shaky, something just seemed to click, and I thought we were excellent after that. Right up until we scored, I just had a sense that something was coming. Raul Jimenez was excellent. A couple of other standouts for me. Ait-Nouri, Semedo played really, really well. Kilman, Sace, Cody. I thought everyone was brilliant, but for me, Ruben Neves was just in a complete world of his own. He was absolutely unbelievable. He ran that game. Rice and Souček, they must be horrible to play against. You see what West Ham have been doing to teams. Really, really good side, West Ham. But for me, Ruben Neves was just by far and above the best player on the pitch today. I don't know if he meant that pass in the second half, but if he did, it's stuff like that you just can't. Yeah, it was absolutely brilliant. I was surprised to see Podence start, really surprised. But again, every time I've sort of come on here and said that I'm surprised at something that Bruno's done, it seems to have been the right decision. And I thought Podence played really well. It was those little second balls he was winning, niggling little tackles in the final third. Hwang's energy was good, and to be honest, you think about it, Sarr didn't actually make a save, to be honest with you. So really, really happy. Norwich and Burnley in our next two games. We've got to start looking upwards. You see this, it's sixth in the league. Really, really positive. You reminded me today really of the first couple of games of the season, when we were dominating, but we weren't quite getting that end product right. But the goal was absolutely sensational and thoroughly deserved, and yeah, really, really happy with that.
Great win, great 3 points, no real complaints from me. Final score, obviously, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, West Ham United 0. Before coming into the game, it was one of them performances where we thought, I don't know if we're going to get a result against that. No one actually was really confident coming into the game. I think everyone just had a bad feeling that, something was going to go wrong. But we were brilliant. We were absolutely brilliant. And we really nullified the threat of West Ham United, an informed West Ham United team who a lot of pundits have, given a lot of praise for this season. And from the first whistle until the last, we absolutely dominated them. We might have had a couple of iffy spells here and there, but they're just spells. In terms of the whole momentum of the game, we were the ones that were in control of it, really. The team selection, it was a bit of a weird one seeing Daniel Podence come into the team. I've always seen him more as an impact sub, because whenever he comes off the bench, he looks a lot better. He doesn't look that good when he normally starts, but he's got the ability to basically be on a different wavelength to everyone else, and it's for the better as well. And he can, on his day, be one of the best players at the club. It's just we haven't seen it enough, unfortunately. And he kind of started off like most people feared, a little bit. Looked like he was giving the ball away. His decision making wasn't that great. To be fair, the longer the game went on, the better that we looked. I mean, for the first 30 minutes, we kind of were just a little bit slow. We were just keeping a hold of possession, really, and we were kind of just, not forcing anything. It was one of them first half performances, really, where like we weren't horrendous. We've seen better, but we were better than the opposition. And the longer the half went on, the more you could see that we were going to create the opportunities, really. And it was just a case of going into the second half, can we keep that same momentum? And we carried on the second half the way we ended the first. But this time we were actually creating opportunities on goal and really testing the goalkeeper. I think it was after a couple of opportunities, it was a case of not if we're going to score, it's a case of when, really. And I mean, especially with the documentary that's just come out recently of Raul Jimenez, it's been absolutely brilliant to see him get that goal. One of my favourite players of all time. I just don't think that, anyone can top, obviously, the effort that he's done, really. Obviously, from, going into detail about the documentary, it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant to see, and it's a great story. And just after that, we saw out the game really, really well. First time in a while that we can actually say with these group of players that we actually saw a game out for once. It was actually quite good to see, and it was quite refreshing as well. But we were kind of, the thing is, we were under a little bit of pressure, but we didn't really look like conceding. I don't really remember Jose Sarr having to make a big save in the game, but that really kind of, it shows, after the fact, Crystal Palace was just a blip now. We was on a great run of form before that point. It felt like we was in a good run of form. And even with that Crystal Palace defeat, we've seen many times, especially with the Wolves team, where they'll lose and then there's no real bounce back. With this, you could tell that the players were just up for it more today, and it's an absolutely superb 3 points. And it's another step towards the right direction. Obviously, over to my local team Norwich next week. So yeah, it's really, really good 3 points. Anyway, I'm about to head off out, and I was about to say, stay safe, all of you lot, and I'll be there in a couple of weeks.
Wolves 1, West Ham 0, and a very, very good display from Wolves today. The sort of reaction we needed after the Palace game. We went into the international break after that disappointing loss to Palace. Unfortunately, not being at the game today, still unable to get to Molineux. But having watched it on the telly, I feel like you get a little bit closer to the action in terms of player analysis and how the team performs. I think when you're in the stadium, it just kind of, the emotion does get on top of you. But I thought first 10 or 15 minutes wasn't fantastic, but I think both teams were just trying to sound each other out. I thought West Ham had the better of the possession in those opening stages, but after that, I'd say Wolves are the better side and definitely deserved to win the game. You look at the chances we did have. Jimenez in the first half, the Semedo chance, Kilman in the second half. On another day, we could have had 3 or 4, but how many times have we said that this season? Just fortunately today that we're saying it and we still won the game. I think the introduction of Podence today, I was a little bit kind of sceptical because he's come into the team before, not taking his chance, but today he was fantastic. I thought the link up between him, Jimenez and Semedo on that right hand side really helped us, and especially for the goal, that the ball he played into Jimenez. It's a wonderful, wonderful finish. Almost makes up for the sitter he missed in the first half. But you notice how, I know I know I didn't have that good of a game, but the wing backs and the wingers or inside forwards and the striker are almost playing in a horizontal line, which helps us play through the park a lot better, and it worked again today. It was the same against Everton, which is a little bit frustrating as to why we didn't do it against Palace, but I thought we were really good today. West Ham are a top team. They've shown that the last 2 seasons, and we've matched them and we've beaten them. We sat a little bit deeper towards the end of the game, a bit naturally as teams do, and it does panic me, as it panics every Wolves fan. But I think bringing on Adama first kind of shows to me that Lage is understanding that we can't just completely shut the shop and kind of hope for the best. We still had an output in Adama, and he got us up the field. It was almost a perfect substitution, and almost a very, very good performance from Wolves. Restricted West Ham to very few chances. Thought Declan Rice had a good game for them, but Neves equally as good as him, matched him. And when I first saw the lineups, I thought Martinho and Neves are going to have a tough day against those 2 monsters in the park, but the experience shone through. And Wolves get 3 points on the board, up to 6th now. Norwich won't be an easy game, but it's another good win. Just hopefully now we can start to iron out those inconsistencies, because today was a very, very good performance against a top team.
What a win and what a performance today from the boys. For the first 10 minutes we were a bit shaky trying to get into the game. They had a couple of chances, well not really, I wouldn't call them chances at all. I don't think Sars really had to make a save all game. But they had a bit of possession, knocked it about quite nicely. And then after those 10 minutes, I couldn't quite believe what we were seeing from us today. Some of the plays, some of the passing, Neves on the ball, off the ball, tackling. He threw balls to Raul. He threw balls to the wide men. Some seriously impressive play from him today. He would probably be my man of the match for me. So we went through the first half, pushing, trying to get into their half more, and I found we struggled for the first 10 minutes, and after that West Ham stopped playing and just let us play. I feel like when we play football, we're allowed to play football. We are such a good team. I thought Hwang and Podence on the wings today, unreal again. Podence especially coming into the team after Trincao, after the Palace game. We all kind of thought today, I'd massively take a point out of today's game. And then after the first half performance, that went out the window. I wanted to win the game, and we have. We've come out of the second half exactly the same as we ended the first half, brilliantly. The wingmen again pressing their fullbacks, pressing everywhere they can. Raul winning the ball back. There was one in the second half where Declan Rice has had the ball off the goalkeeper and he just nicked it back off him again to create another chance for us. Everybody looked like they wanted it today, and that's exactly what we've needed from the Wolves team at the moment. We've had too many games recently where, yeah, we might have won the game, but it's showing that you want to win the game, showing that bit of grit, showing that bit of bollocks to win the game for the team. And that was unreal today. Everybody was unreal on the pitch. I can't pick out a bad person. I thought we get a lot of Wolves fans give a lot of stick to Nelson Semedo. I'll probably have, myself included. He was awesome today, and Ait Nouri. Those two have to start every week for me in those positions. The back three, Antonio's had a sniff all game. One of the best strikers in the league this season he's been. And Cody, Sykes and Kilman have been unreal and not let him get anything. I don't think Sarr's had to make a save. Quick point on Sarr. His distribution today was unreal. That one on Podence in the first half where he sent him through. I know a lot of people comparing him to Rui Patricio, but I think I'm starting to see which goalkeeper I'd rather have in this Wolves team, purely for the fact that when I'm more confident with Jose Sarr on the ball, coming for crosses, and his shot stopping is still pretty good. So yeah, great performance. Big shout out to Raul. Unreal finish. Great ball in from Podence. And another massive 3 points for us. Up to 6th now in the league. Next week, huge game at Norwich. I think we've got to go and get 3 points off them as well. I know they've won today. So yeah, look forward to next week. We've got to kick on now and see where we can end up this season. So yeah, thanks for having me on, boys. Cheers.